Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview. I'm Mark, and today we're taking a look at The Shining, Escape from the Overlook Hotel. The Shining is brought to you by the app. It's for 1 to many players, ages 17 and up, and games run about 2 hours. Here's Johnny. Something malevolent has sunk its claws into the very soul of Jack Torrance, and it's up to you to help his family escape before he finds them and does something unspeakable. In The Shining, Escape from the Overlook Hotel, you take on the roles of Wendy and Danny, and you work together to search for a way out. Use psychic abilities like The Shining to solve challenging puzzles, but beware of Jack and the hotel itself, which are conspiring to keep the Torrance family captive. Can you get Wendy and Danny out of the Overlook Hotel while avoiding the axe-wielding Jack? Coded Chronicles is an at-home escape room style game, where players will work together to unlock clues and solve puzzles by using a unique code-revealing mechanic. Each game offers a unique storyline and objective to provide a one-of-a-kind gameplay experience. So, let's take a look at what you get in the box. There are 4 journals detailing story elements of the game. There are 4 room tiles showing the different areas of the resort, 44 clue cards to guide you through puzzles and mysteries within the resort. There are 11 secret envelopes, and it wouldn't be a secret if I told you what was in these envelopes, now would it? You also receive an Act 2 envelope and 2 character standees representing Wendy and Danny and their abilities. And finally, the hotel guest guide, which is where we will start. So, as not to spoil too much of the game, we're only going to show you maybe the first 5-10 minutes here of what you can expect. And I'm going to try to keep a lot of things pretty secret, blurring out some things and so forth. But in this game, you are controlling Wendy and Danny, and each of these standees have different abilities at the bottom. And you'll use them in conjunction with codes on areas of the map that you move through, as well as when you go to the journals and the cards and so forth, as you try to solve these puzzles, which hopefully will lead you to envelopes to further the adventure. So after you've laid everything out for easy access for all players, then you'll go to the hotel guest guide. It does say read me first on it after all. This is going to give you the basics of what you as the players will be doing on your turn, where you're going to start the adventure, as well as a guide, a chart on the back for hints that you might need, as well as a scoring guide. So the adventure starts with you referencing Wendy's journal, and you're looking at journal entry 1000, where you'll read the story aloud to everyone at the table, and essentially she has Jack by the leg and she's dragging him across the hotel to the kitchen to store him or trap him in the pantry, at least temporarily. So you're going to read that aloud to everyone, and then you're going to reveal the first room, which is the kitchen, and you'll be placing Wendy somewhere in here. Now, the basics of what you're doing on your turn is you're looking at the base of Wendy, and initially you're going to be looking at areas on this tile. So you'll place her next to one of the coded numbers. In this case, we're taking a look at 101, and it will reveal a spot in the journal for you to go reference. So in this case, we're looking at 1101 in her journal. So each time you reference a journal entry, you will read the story bits aloud, but there's also instructions to follow. Either you're pulling a card, or you might be going off to another journal entry. It just depends on where you are in the story. Now, in this case, Wendy is searching frantically for something to help her. She pulls card number 1, and on the card you can clearly see there's a knife and a sharpening rod. Now, you're going to match her up and use her look ability again to see what these different items are. In this case, we're going to take a look at the sharpening rod, and pulling the next card, going to journal entry 1105, you'll see that she will have this in hand now. And now she can use her other ability, which is the use ability. So this works a little bit differently. You're still going to be referencing the journals when you come up with your final number, but you're combining 2 objects, and it's pretty thematic really. In the case of this particular scenario, or where you're at in the kitchen, you're going to be taking the sharpening rod, and you will activate her use ability, which gives you the number 2. Applying it to the rod gives you a 23, and applying that to the door, that's 13, 23, 13. And you'll reference that in the journal as well, telling you what happens next. And that will lead us to an envelope 11, which you'll open up and reveal the contents. And there's usually a setup here or what you're going to be doing with those cards, so you read that aloud and prep for the next part of the adventure. So that's just one possible path through the kitchen. I'm not going to spoil anything else, so to keep the integrity of the game for you to experience it on your own. Now, you can see in the kitchen, there's lots of other places for you to look at and explore while you're there. So you want to keep that in mind as each room comes up and as you connect them appropriately and move between the different areas. But there's all kinds of puzzles to solve. You really do have to work together, and the richness of the story and the dialogue between the characters really does give you a sense of urgency as you move through this resort. Alright folks, just a reminder once again, this has been a Dice Tower paid preview, and everything you've seen here is done and published. The game is ready to go, so give it a closer look, especially if you enjoy escape rooms. This has all kinds of fantastic puzzles to solve. I have really enjoyed this escape room. I had a ton of fun with this one. So definitely give it a closer look if you like that style of game. And the story is really rich, but it is dark. It is The Shining after all. You're playing the movie and you really do get that sense. And I love that. It's very thematic as you play through the different puzzles and aspects of the resort. But ultimately, folks, if this looks like something that would be of interest to you, I'm sure they'd appreciate your support. So I think that's it from me, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.